A friend of mine was casually driving down the road one day when suddenly he saw it. The dreaded check engine light. Great. Money was tight, so rather than take the car in for service, he chose the DIY option. He stopped at the auto parts store because they have the diagnostic gadget that taps into your system and tells you what the light actually means. Low oil pressure, they told him. So he bought some oil, about $15 worth, and brought that dipstick right to the perfect spot. Such a deal, right? Yeah, except the warning light was still on. He figured there had to be a clog in the oil line somewhere. So he flushed out the entire system and started over with all new oil and filter. After 3 hours of labor and about $60 of supplies, he said, "That'll do it." But of course it didn't. That's when he had a flash of brilliance. The oil pump! The system is clear, but the pump isn't pushing the oil through. So back he goes to the auto parts store. $250, and 2 days later, he's replaced the pump, replaced the filter, and replaced the oil again. Oh, that's it. I give up. He takes the car to the shop and tells the mechanic everything he's already tried and sits down in the waiting room. After 10 minutes, the guy comes back and says, "Your car is fine, but you had a bad oil sensor." The cost? Way less than half of what he had paid for believing a piece of technology that was lying to him the whole time. Now, why did I tell you that story? Because people have sensors too. They're called emotions. They send signals that help us interpret the reality around us. When they're working, they enable us to feel joy, express love, process grief or pain, sense hope, and much more. But sometimes they lie to us. And that can get us into some serious trouble if we forget emotional rule number 1. Feelings aren't facts. Even though it can be hard to tell the difference, especially when we're hurting. Oftentimes, wounded emotions are the result of misunderstandings. Need proof? Just scan through your text messages. Someone sends you an emoji that means one thing to them, but looks like something completely different to you. A sentence meant to be read one way has a completely different meaning when read with different inflection. Your spouse or someone at work looks at you funny and makes an offhanded comment. Someone doesn't call you back or text you back or wave at you across a parking lot. Your brain goes into overdrive at times like that, trying to fill in the gaps, because brains hate gaps. If you can fill them in with some facts, great. If not, it'll use something random or unrelated or just plain made up. And when that happens, we're prone to assume the worst, leading to hurt feelings and broken relationships. Sometimes our emotions aren't reactions to what's happening now, but delayed reactions to something that happened months, years, even decades ago. Other times, our feelings are outright fantasies, things we made up in our heads that make us unhappy for no reason. So should we just bury our negative emotions? Well, obviously no. Anybody who's ever seen a horror movie can tell you that things you bury prematurely have a way of coming back, and when they do, they're a lot uglier and do a lot more damage. The answer in life is the same as the answer in your car. Check your sensor. You can do that by finding some facts. For instance, you can often clear up misunderstandings by asking gentle, non-threatening questions like, "Is that what you were trying to say?" Or, "Did that really mean what I thought it meant?" Well, seek out the truth about hidden hurts from your past and get the help you need to heal them. Erase the old recordings that play over and over in your head, saying things like, "I'm unloved," "I'm unworthy," "I'm inferior," or anything else that doesn't agree with who the Bible says you are, because you've got Christ living inside you. Bottom line, don't automatically trust the censor by letting your emotions dictate your reality. Let your reality regulate your emotions until eventually they change. That's really hard to do alone, but you're not alone. You've got friends here at Solid Ground who would really be honored to take that journey with you. Reach out to us at sgbic.com and I promise we'll reach back. In the meantime, that's also the place to go to check out past episodes of Potluck and our recent worship gatherings. See you on Sunday.